Well, shelter has been and remains one of humans' basic necessities. In today's society, it is a commodity that many, unfortunately, cannot afford. In a place like New York City, where I grew up, which densely houses and employs millions of people, having access to housing has become increasingly difficult from the lack of affordability to the limited amount of space for new developments.
The project I submitted is a response to a conversation about adaptive reuse, which follows a proposal in 2023 by New York City's mayor to renovate underutilized office buildings into apartments in Midtown Manhattan. In my studio, this created an opportunity to do an imaginative exploration of a real world problem in an environment that I and my colleagues are most familiar with. The approach to the project began with a master plan, for us to understand and come up with an overall idea to revitalize one of the four city districts listed under the mayor's proposal. My group chose to work in the Garment District, which historically began as a manufacturing area and throughout time transitioned into an area with primarily commercial and office spaces. We noticed the area lacked livelihood, particularly outside of work hours, and decided to develop a strategy to bring life back into the district. On the outside, we visualized an imaginative connection between buildings featuring non traditional rooftop spaces that coexist with the existing necessary mechanical infrastructure. This included a pool, parks, green spaces, sports courts, greenhouses, shops, and even land for farm animals. Of course, with no harm to the animals. Similarly, on the inside, a series of cooperative and entertainment spaces, including a climbing gym, a theater, co working spaces, and vertical farming. The second part of the project required more specificity and intentionality, as we selected an existing underutilized office building to propose a redevelopment. Located on 7th Ave and 37th Street, our building of choice is an office building constructed in two segments that has office spaces listed for rent, an ideal candidate. The challenge, however, was the near 200 feet wide floor plates of the building up to the 17th floor, which far exceeds the 30 feet depth maximum for lighting needed to implement affordable housing. Starting with the existing floor plan as a base, we outlined the perimeter of the building, offset by 30 feet for apartments, accounted for 10 feet minimum extra for hallways and interiors, and cut a core atrium from the center of the building. Not only would this solve the issue of lighting, it would allow for the removed square footage to be added on top of the building in the shape of two towers. The resulting tower's staggered shape is a product of wanting different views, balcony spaces, and allowing sunlight to reach the bottom of the courtyard at its peak. The final design ties back into our master concept, consisting of a ground level marketplace and courtyard for the first two floors, apartment units up to the 50th floor, with amenity spaces such as gyms, art, office, co working, lounge, and public viewing spaces, and rooftop cafe and green roofs. The approach to this aimed to consider our creative liberties while addressing and solving a prominent problem in New York City with a building in the city's heart. My name is Jaydin Parker, and I'm a fourth year undergrad student at the Spitzer School of Architecture. When I was younger, I was first drawn to architecture as a possible future career path because I understood it simply as a combination of math and art, two things I have an affinity for. Growing up in the Bronx and attending high school in the poorest congressional district in the country, I felt as though architecture would be a means to create opportunities for community restoration. In my senior year of high school, I took an architecture elective where I got to work with hand drafting and plan drawing, which further solidified my decision to pursue an architecture degree in college. As I progressed through my education, I have become increasingly more interested and experimental in intertwining artistic representation in classical mediums into my architectural work. Through Gensler, I would hope to gain insight about design through exposure to the vast amount of fields available within the firm. With expertises including adaptive reuse, transportation, residential, and sustainability, I believe Gensler would be a great opportunity to explore and learn topics and strategies, further informing my mission as a future architect. As a Black architecture student and artist from the Bronx, I believe I can bring a unique perspective and set of representational and design skills to the work done at Gensler. Thank you.